here to answer those questions. Why the slides are rolled on and why we are going into the topic of today, please, you can also drop your questions at the chat box and we'll try to attend to all questions and clarifications. All right, thank you. Engineer Abbas, are you ready for us?
Yes.
So today we are looking at the Gennex product expose series 20.0, and we have we're introducing one of our new products in stock, and we're exploring. The topic today is exploring Gennex 15 kilowatt Infini solar 3-phase hybrid inverter. And please stay active while we go into it and learn more from it. Thank you. Where's the boss? Our engineer boss, please, can you go on?
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Abbas Alatayatoda from Gennex Technology Limited. So we'll be having a conversation on our new product, which is 15 kilowatt Infini solar thing. So the 15 kilowatts Infini solar inverter is a dual output inverter, and it is grid tie or on-grid type of inverter, which allows you to do a sort of mini grid and feedback, feed in to grid function. Yes. It has many new features and new technologies that enhance the solar generation. So at the start, it is rated as 15 kilowatts, which is 15,000 VA, as we know, and it is the same as 15 kilowatts, which has a power factor of 1. So it also has the 2 MPPT input, but has the 4 tracker, which means you can use two string of your solar panel on each of the MPPT input terminals. So this will allow the more generation for the charging of battery and power of the load. The maximum PV input you can have that you can generate is about 22 kilowatts of PV. So which means you can use up to 45 units of about 530 watt or 580 watt solar panel on single inverter. That means you can have enough generation for your battery and for your load as well. So each of the terminal has the input current of about 26 amps, which means if you have a solar panel that is rating around 12 amps or 13 amps, you can have about 2 strings of it on a terminal. So you can have 2 strings of that kind of 13 amps on a terminal. And as well, the range of the voltage is very wide, which allows you to use more solar panel. You can connect up to 950 volts. So like you have, for instance, you have like solar panel that is about 45 volts or 50 or let's say 50 volts. You can connect up to 18 or 16 in series. So, and if you have that same panel, the ISC is about 13 amps, you can parallel that 18 into a 2-string and put it on one PV input. You can do the same on the other PV input, but you can do it, you can configure it to have more solar panel, but the maximum you'll be generating is about 22 kilowatts. That is the maximum, but you can have more than 22 kilowatts solar panel. The only thing is that once the configuration is not is in between the specification they give us, like it's not beyond the 950 volts and it's not beyond the 26 amps of the short circuit current, it will take all the solar panel conveniently and it will generate very well for the battery and for the load. Then the maximum charging current is 300 amps, which is massive for the 3-phase inverter. So the inverter also comes with a communication interface, which supports the RS-232, RS-485, and dry contact as well. So you can connect it with your system to run some software and to monitor the inverter. And also it has the intelligence slot, which allows you to use SNMP card or Modbus card. Modbus cards can be used for when you want to do any like on-grid or feedback to grid system and to monitor the system as well. It has the intelligence slot for that. Then again, it has it supports parallel operation up to 6 units, which means 15 kilowatts into 6 units. You can achieve 90 kilowatts out of it. 90 kilowatt output when you connect the six inverter in parallel. And this is on 3-phase, which makes it robust, and you can also have your smart load on the dual output. The dual output can be timed or scheduled when to come up, and you can set it on battery SOC. When your battery SOC reach a particular level, you can set a command to turn on the second output. When the SOC of the battery get low to a certain point, you can put a command to turn off the second output, which make it like emergency load output for maybe some very important load you don't want it to go off, or the one you want it to work based on time you want it. The SOC, the second output, can do that. And as well, you can see the configuration of the 6 inverter on a parallel. How you can do it, which is very simple. So on talking about the feed to grid function, you can have the excess energy from the PV feed back to the grid. Actually, that feature is not really using in Nigeria for now. But with the help of energy meter, you can as well do it. That you, if like Ikeja Electric is approve something like that, you can be selling your excess energy back to the public grid for other people to consume. Or you can also use it for your own use to feed back to another inverter to charge another set of the battery, which we give maximum efficiency for other usage. Then as well, you can also do that with the battery if the battery is well charged, and you can set your SOC to a particular point. When the battery reach that level, it can feed to the grid as well, not only solar panel. You can also use the battery, but it depends on how you want it. You can set it, you can schedule it. When you get to a particular SOC, then it feeds in back to the grid or to supply another inverter. Then another thing with in this inverter is built-in Wi-Fi mode. It has Wi-Fi monitoring. Like on the mobile, you can use your laptop to do it. You can use your mobile to do it. And it's very simple, straightforward setup, which allows you to monitor whatever going on the inverter, what you are consuming, what you are generating, the fault events. You can change some settings, update the firmware, and so on the Wi-Fi app, which makes it more efficient as well. Then is an IP65 inverter, which is very, very robust and can be used for outdoor. So with this, it has built-in anti-dust kit, which keep dust from the inverter and make it very robust as well. So it has let me say it's about 4-inch screen, very bold and user-friendly LCD that shows all the important information and parameters on the main screen. You can as well access some settings on the screen, even without using your laptop. Unlike the previous Infini solar that we have, you can do this on the screen. To some extent, all the settings that's very important that you can set when you do maintenance, when you just go on site without carrying your laptop. You can do some settings. You can change the battery. You can change the parallel mode. You can change you can schedule the outputs anytime you want the output to come up, anytime you want the input to charge the inverter, and so on. You can do all those settings on the screen, and it's a touchable screen calibration. You have the home page there, the battery page is there, the AC input there, the PV page is there, all the very important stuff. Then the fault log or fault event is also there, that you can check what has happened in the previous time, then what either warning code or fault code that inverter has shown before that time. Maybe you went to do maintenance. You can as well check on the screen to confirm the inverter situation. We have talked about the dual output for smart load, and you can set the cutoff voltage on the second output. Then it works as a battery independent. That's why it's grid tie. You can connect the grid to it to give out the outputs. You can connect the only PV to it to give out the output without using the battery. But that one will now be limited to only during the day. Only during the day. That's when you can do that, or you connect the grid to it. to serve as a source to another machine. So on the firmware updates, you can as well update the firmware via the app. So which make it very, very efficient and good system as new technology. So because now you can buy different inverter at a different time point in time, and you can be upgrading the firmware. Unlike we have some that when you buy this particular fashion this year and another fashion come, you will not be able to parallel them together. So this one, you can do the setting, you can do the upgrade of the firmware by yourself, even without getting to the service center. The only thing you may need is a settings from the manufacturer that we can provide when needed. So just to upgrade all the file is there, everything. If you're having any issue with it, you'll be able to call and we'll resolve it even on site. So you can see the pictures of how it is being updated on the screen. This is the app you need to download. It's Solar. When you download the app, you can do the update. I just want to go through the update aspect of it. I know all of us are very familiar with the app, or let me say most of us are very familiar with the app that we use to monitor our various inverter on the various sites. But on this one, you can see that it's a little bit different. There is a product on this one that make it different. Then when you click on the product, then you go to the update. On the update, you can just follow all those steps one by one till you see the inverter having showing the upgrade successfully or completed. So if there is any error between that, it's something you can just call and we give the technical advice and support for anybody that needs it without taking the inverter to the service center. So this is the display. You see the display. We have the LCD panel on it, which you have talked about. Then another thing is the cold start button. The cold start button is by the side, which allows the inverter to come up on battery mode, and maybe there is any low voltage on the battery. When you press the button, it will turn off the inverter. Then on the inverter, we have the battery connectors securely put in a compartment to allow any form of bridging or easy accessibility for anybody. Then another, we have the PV connector, which is 2 inputs, which has 2 positive and 2 negative for each of the PV terminal. Then on this, we have the RS-232 for communication ports. And this one has BMS port as well, that you can actually connect your lithium battery with to communicate with the lithium battery directly. And you can do the setting on the inverter. Then the dry contact, some of us use the contactor. Some of us use the contactor for some functions, like to turn on the turn off the generator, and all that type of function. Then we have this EPO emergency stuff on it. Then we have battery thermal sensor. We have a USB communication port to communicate with your laptop or with your remote monitoring kit. As well, there is AC grid. We have only single AC grid, which is 3-phase. Then we have AC output connector, which is 2 outputs. It is also 3-phase. The dual phase, dual phase are they are both 3-phase. The inverter is actually 3-phase all through. 3-phase in, 3-phase out for the 2 outputs. Then there is parallel communication ports, the current sharing ports, and intelligence slot, which we have discussed that you can use with your SNMP card or with your Modbus card. Then we have the DC switch. This one controls the PV input. You can change you use it to turn on the PV or turn off the PV. Then the fans they are at the outside of the inverter. The inverter is actually IP65, which makes it very durable and outdoor unit. So in order to do a maintenance, maybe a small maintenance you want to do, the fans are outside. It is accessible. You can just clean it or remove it and clean it and return it back without opening any part of the inverter. Okay, this is the screen layout. This is the screen layout. Yeah, which shows the grid, solar panel, battery, the load you're powering, then how you can access the settings. So we have mentioned the inverter is the IP65 waterproof and dustproof, and is suitable for outdoor system, and it can withstand the harsh weather between minus 25 degrees Celsius to about 60 degrees Celsius. And it has wide PV inputs. We have discussed that. Then it has the adjustable charging current. You can choose the charging current you want on the system. Maybe you don't want the battery, you don't want the inverter to consume more of the electricity you need from the public grid. You can reduce the charging current. Maybe your battery requires about 60 amps, but you don't want to be using more of the grid to charge the battery. You can reduce it to any level you like. Then the inverter supports lithium energy storage, then replaceable fan for its maintenance. Then the configurable AC and PV output usage, timer, and prioritization. You can as well set when you want your output to come out to turn on. You can set it for the 2 outputs. You can set it for the 2 outputs, and as well you can set it for only second output. There is timer there for you to configure how you want it. Again, as a 3-phase inverter, there are some inverter that you need to balance the 3-phase in order to make the inverter work very well, but not for this one. This one can support up to 150% of the load on a single phase. Imagine maybe you don't want to load, or you have all the load on one phase. You have not been able to separate everything. The inverter can still support the load and give you up to some level of the total size of the power rating power of the inverter. Actually, if we are using any three-phase system, you divide the three-phase, you divide the total power by 3. So each of them, like you are using 15 kilowatt now, each of the phase has 5 kilowatts. So if you now have more than 5 kilowatts on one phase, it will not affect the inverter, which means you can have up to 10 or 13 kilowatts on each phase, on one phase, if other phase are idle. So the inverter supports that. Then we have talked about the 26 maximum PV input current. So that is the capacity of the inverter. Then the built-in Wi-Fi for monitoring. Then you can also check the usage wherever you are on the built-in Wi-Fi when you download the app. I think, do we mention the app? It's iSolar. Yes, so it is iSolar app. You can check it on the Google Play Store on the iOS. So the data logger is also there for monitoring. Thank you. So if there is any questions.
Thank you, Engineer Baz. Thank you for a wonderful presentation. It is actually insightful and well explained. Yeah, please, if there is anyone that has a question or clarification or contribution, please, it's time that you can signify or throw in your questions either verbally, or you can also drop it in the chat box. Okay, while we are still on that, there's someone that that is asking, Engineer Baz. He said, the inverter, does it have 4 PV ports? Can you specify clarification? Yes, you mentioned that earlier.
Yes, sir. The inverter has 4 PV ports, but it is categorized into 2 inputs. One PV1 and PV2. PV1 has 2 positive and negative. PV2 has positive and negative, 2 positive and negative. That is why I said you can string your solar panel up to 26 amps per input, which means if you have like let's say you have one string of 13 amps of a short circuit current, that is ISC of any solar panel, you have connected your solar panel in series up to, let's say, 850 volts. So 850 volts, your ISC is still remain at 13 amps. That one goes to one PV input. On, if it is PV1, you can put it on tracker 1. Let me say tracker 1, tracker 2 per PV input. So then the second tracker can also have another 13 amps of that same 850 volts of solar panel on the tracker 2. Now you are still using that same PV1 for, let's say, about 32 solar panel. Then you can have the same thing on the PV2, PV input 2, which also has 2 positive and 2 negative. So hope I'm clear with that, sir.
All right, thank you. Thank you for throwing more light on that. I believe it's well cleared and explained. Please, does anyone has any question, contributions, or any clarification? So we can attend to it. We have a question from Tenito, but it's asking if the inverter is transformer driven or IGBT, Gennex.
Okay. The inverter is I rugged for any type of load you want to use, either industrial or commercial or even residential. They have the kind of load to power. So that is it. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Engineer Boss, for that question, for answering that question, please. So I have someone asking a question, is asking, for example, if there is a grid and sunny rail. Okay, say for example, if there is grid and sun rail. I think it's asking how many panel is generating 2 kilowatts and grid is on also. Load is 5 kilowatts. Will it take panel first before balancing remain with grid?
Okay, thank you for the question, sir. Thank you for the question, sir. It depends on your priority. If you set it at, if you set the inverter with the PV generation, it will power the load with the PV. If the PV energy generating is not enough to power your load, it will be taken from the battery. That is why we have PV on others on some our inverter. We have PV first, then battery, then utility. Then there is another setting that you can choose. Utility first, solar second, then battery. How you want the your, that kind of PV.
All right, thank you. We also have another question here. Someone is asking, has this inverter been installed and tested on load in Nigeria? Yeah, just to answer that question, yes, it has been tested on load and also installed, yes, in Nigeria.
Okay, let me quickly use this one. Is a new inverter in Nigeria. I can say that is a new inverter in Nigeria, especially this model. The model is not common, but as soon as it lands in this country, we have some customers that have bought it and installed it. So we have installed up to, let's say, up to 5 now, though it just came in, let's say, last 2 weeks or last 3 weeks. So, and we have some customers that have installed it in Nigeria. And also, thank you.
Also, just to throw more light on that, before point of selling, we also do our own in-house tests. Has been tested on low here also in the office.
Number rep àbí link then tó a fi join.
Cost.
All right, for someone that is asking of the cost, please, you may need to check our website. It will be, that link will be dropped here as well, so that you can go through more details, also the data sheets, and you get more information on the costs. Okay, we'll have a question saying that as it's not transformer based, can we use it for electric motor job, like for stations?
Okay, thank you for the question, sir. It can actually take that kind of job, because the one that is not even robust up to it has been using for years to power the filling stations across the country. So it doesn't stop the inverter to do, like I have said, you can use it for industrial. You can use it for industrial. I have a client that actually installed it in a bottling company, that they are using it to power something like this, even more, all this heavy machine. So in the factory. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Engineer Bas. We have another question. Someone says, since it's three-phase inverter, it is very sensitive to wrong phase sequence. So now the question is, what happens when one phase from grid is not complete?
Okay, if one phase, a phase loss on, if it is input or output. If it is input, the in the case of the three-phase, any three-phase that is not complete will not be, any three-phase that is not complete will not come up, will not power the appliances. So it's better we have the phase sequence, and especially if you are doing something like this, it's good that you have phase sequence device. Before it gets to your inverter, you confirm if it is okay. Then after the inverter too, you confirm if it is okay. So to make our installation more explainable and efficient. Thank you.
Matthew, I hope that answer clarifies your question. Okay, we'll be rounding up shortly. Please, we are still giving room for 2 more questions so that we can, our time is already fast spent.
Okay, Mr. Martin, do you understand the question? Do you understand the answer to the question, sir? Or I should be myself?
I think there's a network challenge from his own end, so please kindly just rephrase a little.
Okay, like I said, the three-phase system, any three-phase system requires from three-phase. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Matthew, for the confirmation. Thank you. Any more questions, suggestion or clarification?
Can you hear me? I have a question. Hello,
Okay, please go ahead.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Please, how do we place order for some of your products? I'm not based in Lagos.
Sorry, say that again.
Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? I want to place
Can you repeat the question, sir?
Hello, can you repeat the question again? We didn't hear you.
Okay, Mr. Kolawale, sir, you can actually place order on our website, shop.gennextechnologies.com. And your order will be delivered to you. And that is it showing on your screens. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Kolawole. Yeah, we'll be rounding up from here, and it has been an insightful and wonderful program. Thank you for participants at Gennex Technologies.com. The website will be dropped out here. The recording of this webinar also will be dropped on our YouTube handles. Yeah, for further inquiries or further engagement, you can also reach us. We are available 24/7. Thank you, everyone, for joining. And we hope to see you again on the next edition that will be coming up subsequently next month. Engineer Abbas, do you have a parting word?
Thank you, everybody, for giving us the time to listen to us. We appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you.
Hello. Can we have this manual?